The Schweppes Majorca Stakes is typically not a big field, attracting an average of 13 runners in recent times, making this year's field of 6 compact but of top quality. Horse of the Year and 6 times Grade 1 winner Captain's Ransom is justifiably at the top of the boards. Having won the Schweppes Majorca Stakes in the past 2 years, she now goes for an unprecedented 3rd win in the history of the race. Justin, can she do it again this year?
Very much so. She's going to be a very hard horse to beat. Going into the paddock stakes, unfortunately there was a race all earmarked for her and everyone ran away. So I had this lovely race over 1600, 3-4 weeks before the paddock stakes, and there were 3 acceptors. I think there were 6, so they chucked the race out. That was my whole prep, everything down the Swanee. So unfortunately into 1800 we came in, I would say 80% right, but still in the hope that she would win it. And you know, I did everything I could do, and I thought she ran a great race. She just doesn't quite get the 1800. But listen, when you've won a few 1800 Group 1s, you can't say, you know. But I do think she is better over a mile and shorter. She comes in extremely well, and you can expect a big showing from her.
A quick look at the honours board over the past 8 years shows some wonderful names of not only Snaith Racing's star filly, but Clouds Unfold, Snowdance, Nightingale and Inara. Fillies who win this race make valuable broodmares after racing. What does jump out at you is the dominance of Snaith and Bass Racing, who are both represented in this year's running. Besides Captain's Ransom, Snaith Racing also sends out Silver Darling and Ciao Bella, with Bass Racing pinning their hopes on Golden Hostess. But more about them in a minute.
Desert Miracle starts to kick on from behind as they race down to the final 200. We got
Gauteng Raider Desert Miracle was eye-catching in the Grade 2 Sceptre Stakes under Christophe Soumillon. Christophe is back in the saddle once again.
Was back in second. Desert Miracle closed late for 3rd.
Whilst Desert Miracle has not found the winner's box in over a year, she's also not been out of the placings in all 13 of her starts. Whilst her last run was over shorter, she gets the mile and looks exceptionally well.
Of 15, Desert Miracle comes flashing home from stone last.
Grade 1 Wool Lavington winner Silver Darling looks spot on with 2 good runs coming into this race.
Captain's Ransom, they were followed behind that by Silver Darling.
I think she's better over further. I think a mile is the minimum, and she always runs up into the places. So I think obviously it's a small field. I think she'll run a game race. She's a very interesting filly for me in the Natal season next year, because she's Savano. She's impeccably bred. She's got a lot of mileage still on the clock, or low mileage on the clock. I haven't raced her a lot. Very interesting where we're going to go with her in the Natal season. But you can expect a good run from her here. She's doing very well at home, and all going good.
Chansonette had a cracking Cape Summer season last year, winning the World Sports Betting Cape Fillies Guineas before running desperately close to Captain's Ransom in the 2 Grade 1s in January. She'll be looking to regain some of that form this year.
Michelle, I think it's quite visible that things haven't really gone to plan with her. We were prepping her for the paddock stakes, and the 2 prep runs prior to that was good. The final prep run going the paddock stakes, she had a blowout. We discovered the problems. We know what the problem is, which is great. Whether or not we can deal with it is a different story. So, but since that bad run, we decided to skip the paddock stakes and go for this race on its own. The prep the last 6 weeks going into this race has been terrific. She's really, we think she's back to her best. She's loving life. So whether or not we just put the bad run behind her and carry on, and that's the bigger thing. In these kind of races, pace is everything, tactics is everything. So that's where the jockeys must earn their keep.
Most successful jockeys in the last 25 years have been Grant van Niekerk, Anthony Delpeche, Richard Fourie, Aldo Domea and Kevin Shea. Grant and Richard are the only two riding this year, as Anthony is now racing manager for Hollywood Bets. Aldo will have a chance to catch his breath on an otherwise busy day, and Kevin has retired. Ciao Bella is bred in the purple, being out of multiple Grade 1 winner Bella Bella. She won the Grade 2 Western Cape Fillies Championship last November, before running a credible second to make it snappy in the Grade 1 Cape Fillies Guineas.
Ciao Bella will finish in second.
She was then brought back to the sprints.
Did not like the sprint previously, and also pulled up with a little bit of a bug after that race, because it was way below what I thought she'd produce. So I've done a bit of work on her, got her quite back to where she was. Yes, she's a big runner, she's going to represent the 3-year-olds in this race, but when you're up against Captain's Ransom, it's never going to be easy. Doesn't matter whether it was a year ago, 2 years ago, she's always been a hard nut to crack. So she's going to have to take on the favourite, but doing well at home, and no reason why she shouldn't run in the money.
The only filly in the field looking for her first graded stakes win is Golden Hostess. She's mixed it with the best in her last 3 races, showing she's competitive, and who knows, with luck and running, she could be involved in the finish. Can Golden Hostess cause an upset?
Look, it's always tough to take down Captain's Ransom. She's a champion filly, and it ended up being a very small race this year. Golden Hostess is a filly that's really not far off any of them. I think she was probably, if you work out their collateral form to make it snappy, she's about 2 lengths off Captain's Ransom. So, she's drawn well. She's really well at the moment. She had a nice prep run in the Sceptre Stakes. She was running on strongly. So there again, I'll be very happy if we can finish in the money. I think if she's, she really puts her best foot forward on the day, I think she could maybe get quite close to Captain's Ransom, but she's a very tough filly to take down, and there are 1 or 2 others in there, especially the older fillies that are very decent fillies. So small field, tough race, but my filly's well, and she shouldn't be too far off them.
Draws 1, 3 and 13 have been most successful in the past 25 years, with Inara, Covenant, Mother Russia, Shadow Dancing and Donatella having jumped from Gate 1, Captain's Ransom, Glühwein and Velvet Green from Gate 3, and whilst Gate 13 has also produced winners, it's not of relevance in light of the size of this year's field. Golden Hostess is drawn 1 and favourite Captain's Ransom drawn 3. Having said this, we asked Justin if the draw will even be an issue with just 6 runners.
Not at all. If the draw's a factor in this for some guys, then maybe they shouldn't be in a Group 1.
It's never ideal to have a small field, especially for the punters, I suspect. I think it's quite brave from Cape Racing to move the race because I think they've got a bank in that race. But that's not we don't agree with them. But it does make our day a bit shorter, so that's great in that sense.
There have been fantastic developments in the Cape over this Cape summer season, and there's a wonderful vibe here.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic season for everybody. Racing's really gotten back to where I think it deserves to be, and it's so nice to have all these events and have people on course and just see everybody positive about everything. And I certainly think that Hollywood Bets and Greg have done a fantastic job down here, and may it continue. And as I said, it's been a wonderful season.
It's a sad thing in reality. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom, and also have all the wind knocked out of you to get up again to fight. You can't fight if you haven't been knocked down yet. And I think Cape Racing could not ever have been knocked down to the point that if we made a Rocky movie look ordinary, if you want to put in perspective of what we've done here in the Cape. But there's no reason why it can't happen anywhere else. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the country, following suit, which I think will happen, and racing will be back where it should be.